The Project 2025 plan is not a game.
The election is not over until it's over, folks. And if we keep calling out Project 2025 and relentlessly bringing attention to it like that, then our chances of beating Donald Trump and beating his authoritarian plans are much higher. That was actress Taraji P. Henson speaking at the BET Awards live in front of millions of people, and she decided to call out Project 2025. Now, Taraji's been in shows like Empire. She's been in movies like The Karate Kid, movies like The Color Purple. She's incredibly famous, and millions of people were listening to that. And what's really cool is that if we look up the Google chart of how much Project 2025 has been Googled over the past few months, you can see that the past few days and weeks, there's a massive spike in the amount of people looking up Project 2025, which means that our plan to bring attention to it, our plan to show people what we're up against, that their lifestyle, that their fundamental rights are under threat, our plan is working. If we can keep bringing attention to it, then that only increases our chances of winning the election. Watch the rest of this clip from Taraji. What an amazing moment. What an amazing idea to seize that opportunity. Use your platform to call out Project 2025 and tell people to look it up. I'm hoping that millions of Americans, or at least a few 100,000 people watching that, looked it up, and we should see that reflected in the Google chart within the next few days. But if you don't know what Project 2025 is completely, we've been doing a lot of research live streams on my channel, and essentially it's a plan crafted by the Heritage Foundation, which is a far-right think tank. The Heritage Foundation has been coming up with plans called mandates for leadership ever since Reagan took office in 1981. Every single election they come up with a new plan, slowly becoming more and more extreme, and Republican presidents tend to enact about 60 to 70% of the ideas proposed in these Heritage Foundation plans. Now, the newest one they've come out with is called Project 2025, and it's the plan if Donald Trump comes into office about how they dismantle the federal government, how they consolidate power within the executive branch. The first thing it says to do is appoint tens and thousands of loyal, vetted, trained loyalists into positions where civil servants are currently working now. So all of these qualified civil servants will be fired en masse and replaced with Donald Trump loyalists. Donald Trump then places loyalists in all of these different agencies that he's been attacking for the past few years. Think about the DOJ, think about the FBI, all of those three-letter agencies. Then Donald Trump is free to do whatever he wants regarding abortion, regarding healthcare, and there are no checks and balances in place. During our research stream, we learned that the Heritage Foundation embraces a maximalist, extreme version of unitary executive theory. Unitary executive theory says that the president should be able to control the entire executive branch, basically the entire government. The unitary executive theory, think about the words there, with no checks and balances from Congress or the Supreme Court. They want Donald Trump to be a dictator. Also, Project 2025 repeatedly says, at least 20 times, day one. This will happen on day one, and they capitalize day one like it's this big event. Think about Donald Trump and his rhetoric around being a day one dictator. Donald Trump plans to fully enact Project 2025, and he has been dropping hints along the way. So I think one of the most important things we can do right now is bring more and more awareness to this plan. This isn't even the tip of the iceberg. Project 2025 also wants to outlaw all pornography, arrest people who create pornography or distribute it, turn librarians and teachers into sex offenders if they teach sex ed. This is all real. I have a video on it that I will link in the description below.
As the country faces a potential second term for wannabe dictator Donald Trump, the right-wing think tank Heritage Foundation is sharing its 1,000-page playbook called Project 2025. And though Donald Trump may not be the brains behind the playbook, this is the game plan that his team intends to follow. Some of you may recall me likening Project 2025 to Order 66 of Star Wars lore. But after a closer look, this makes Emperor Palpatine look kind of like a saint. Here are some of their top lines. Implement unitary executive theory, which basically expands the power of the president and puts all federal agencies directly under his control. Okay, and then they want to restructure and repurpose the Justice Department, dismantle the Department of Education, fire federal employees that have been there for their entire career, and then replace those employees with handpicked loyalists, and then reverse access to abortion pills. And of course, finally, they want to finish building the wall on the Mexican border. You might say that that last one is more kind of like a passion project for them. All jokes aside, this is not an obscure fringe movement. There are more than 100 coalition partners who have signed on as advisory members to Project 2025. But there may be hope on the horizon as House Democrats take up the fight to stop Project 2025 from becoming an American nightmare.
Very well said, and he is absolutely right about this becoming an American nightmare. It would be an absolute horror show for any American who wants to get health care, who wants to be able to get an abortion without the government tracking you. Any American who's not a Christian, even if you are a Christian, your rights will still be stripped away. This will still cause an insane amount of inflation, and it becomes so incredibly obvious when you listen to Donald Trump speak and consistently, constantly praise the Prime Minister of Hungary, Viktor Orban. Viktor Orban did his own version of Project 2025. It wasn't quite as meticulous and laid out, but what he did is he began to strip independence away from all of these different agencies. He began to consolidate power within the executive branch, and he ended any shred of liberal democracy that was left in Hungary, which is exactly what Donald Trump wants to do, and it's exactly why Donald Trump is constantly praising him. And going back to this point about Donald Trump wanting to be a day one dictator, and then Project 2025 coincidentally saying the words day one at least 20 times, all of them capitalized like it'll be this big event. Project 2025 plans for the next Republican president, let's assume they want it to be Donald Trump, they plan from the second that Donald Trump says the words "so help me God" on his inauguration day, they begin to dismantle the administrative state, or the deep state as they call it. They will have all of the documents ready to sign and go. They will already have vetted all of these civil servants that are loyalists to Donald Trump, that are completely unqualified. They want to begin this plan on day one, not only on day one, but the exact second that Donald Trump, or whoever the next Republican president is, says the words "so help me God." And when they say that they want to dismantle the deep state, that just means removing any of the checks and balances that would be in place for the next Republican president. By deep state or swamp, they just mean all of the people holding back Donald Trump from acting on his most authoritarian urges. In their eyes, Mike Pence would have been part of the deep state back in 2020 because Mike Pence certified the results of the election for President Biden. So Donald Trump will make sure that there are no Mike Pences or Mark Meadows or Bill Barrs in the government to shoot down his election fraud lies, or to check his lies, or to check his most extreme ambitions. Either way, be there for the next Project 2025 live stream. They're usually a good amount of fun, even though we're talking about a heavy subject. Make sure you leave a like on this video, comment a blue heart, hit that subscribe button, and have a great day.